quite a lady.
An easy way maybe to down this would
to
be...
you, though, not every single man is going to view it like that, but that's your personal preference.
Opinion.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm just stating that. Like, that's your personal preference on how you date. Not every single man is going to view a lady
Well,
the
the
same
universals
exact
are
way.
tied to virtues. That's where we would get the idea. So if we wanted to say, what is a lady? We would say one who typifies feminine virtue. And what is a gentleman would be one who typifies male virtue.
Yes.
What I
Well
deem
put,
a
Andrew.
gentleman, though, could be completely different to what you deem a gentleman.
That's true. But
So,
the
like,
thing is
in
when...
my eyes, like, y'all could be considered not gentlemen,
Of course.
just as I couldn't be a lady. So, but
Well,
it doesn't
then-
necessarily mean that's the truth.
But
we
virtue,
have a shared language.
Well, and virtue attracts virtue. So the idea is like, if somebody's not being very gentlemanly towards you, chances are pretty good you're not being very ladylike towards them, or they don't see you as being ladylike and therefore not worthy of gentlemanness, or the opposite, you don't see them as being very worthy of being ladylike, right? Because of the virtue attraction. So it's the same type of thing. So if we're talking, for instance, in traditional American society, coming over from what was going on in Western Europe, chivalry was like an old medieval concept, right? And the idea was like, oh, my lady, I'll give you this kerchief, and win this duel for you so I can win your hand. They're trying to exemplify male virtues. That way they can, and this was all romance shit, and there's a whole story behind it, but it doesn't matter. The idea here is like, you're not going to see women put their jacket on the ground so that a man can walk through the puddle without getting his feet wet, right? That was because of long dresses. Long dresses would flow on the ground. They didn't want to get them wet or muddy, so he would put his jacket down, then the woman could go over it. So that's the idea of gentlemanly-like behavior versus lady-like behavior.
So, two things. Question. So, when it comes to a relationship, is there a person who first shows the the chivalry or being ladylike? Like, if she automatically isn't.
This is a great question, and the answer to this is actually simple. So, people's personality traits are often typified in their presentation, right? So while it's correct, you could have like a pretty lady situation where you have a prostitute who's dressed in a flower dress, and you don't know anything about her. You could assume that she's a lady, or she's worthy of gentlemanliness, or this or that. On the other hand, if they show up wearing fishnet stockings and a low-cut dress, you may instantly make the assumption, probably not very ladylike, not going to be very gentlemanly towards them, right? So it seems like virtues tend to present themselves in behavior and in aesthetics.
And second thing, just sorry, I just got so distracted. Sorry, go ahead.
I got something here really quick. So you do OnlyFans, is that correct?
Yes.
Do you do traditional, do you do boy-girl content?
I do, yes.
Okay, so is it plausible or possible that you could go on a date with a guy and earlier on in the day you were being fucked by another man?
I do it with my boyfriend. I've only really done it with
You've only done boy-girl content with your current boyfriend?
No, with boyfriends, partners that I've been really close. I have done collaborations with
Then I won't use you specifically. Well, you've done collaborations with guys who did not become your boyfriend or were not your boyfriend.
Yeah, I've done one or two.
Okay, so for those collaborations, the next day, did you go on a date with a guy?
They did take me on dates. They treated me
Wait, not the guy you shot with.
Yeah, no.
I'm talking
Oh, no.
You shoot with a guy, and then the next day
understand.
you go on a date with a completely separate civilian man.
No.
Okay, but you realize that could possibly be true. That could happen.
It definitely is true, and I respect other content creators and what they do with their bodies, but that's just not how I roll pretty much.
Yeah,
it's not my...
Right, but so... and that's only one example I'm giving, but for example, I mean, would you agree with me that, do you think, let's say a sex worker goes on a date with a man, and then earlier in that day, let's say she's a porn star, she had a gangbang with 10 dudes, and she goes on a date with this civilian guy who's a bus driver and not a sex worker. Do you think that bus driver guy should pay for the date?
I think he definitely should understand exactly what he's doing by dating a sex worker, by opening up to that possibility, pretty much.
Well, look, if
So, yes,
you're a man who's inclined...
I do think she still deserves that.
Well,
I'm
hold
sorry.
on. If you're a man who's inclined to date a sex worker...
Question whenever
Hold
you have
on,
a
hold on.
chance.
If you're a man who's inclined to date a sex worker, and she's disclosed what the deal is, I mean, you can't really complain about the situation. However, again, if we're doing a bird's eye view, looking down at the chessboard, do you genuinely? Okay, so if there's an expectation on men to be trad, it would occur to me that there should be some expectation on women to also be trad in some way. So it's like, if you just got stuffed by 10 dudes earlier in the day, yeah, you don't deserve a man to pay for your dinner.
If that's what he wants to do with his money, then that's what he is
But I understand
allowed to do with his money.
Oh, I understand. Trust me. I understand that these men, even though women are the least deserving of chivalry than at any other point in human history, I understand there's
disagree
plenty
with
of men. You disagree with
Yes.
that? So
I disagree with that
hold
as
on.
I have a question.
You think women are more deserving of chivalry now than they were 100 years ago,
Just the
I
same.
think
or
that
in the
they're-
1950s?
Okay, so let's talk about statistics. Right now in this table, we have gathered less than 0.1% of the population. You know, it's women that are sex workers, and again, not to, I'm not going after you ladies, but they're 0.1% of the population, yet men are the primary consumption of pornography and the work that they do. In fact, the majority of men are the ones that consume what it
And
is that they do.
I take issue with that
Right?
too.
That's not even correct,
You
though.
can't say then that we are at a point in time that women deserve the least amount of chivalry.
Wait, hold on. But I don't see how that pointing, that's a great red herring. I don't see how that would relate, though, to my point.
Well, because women that have done sex work have always existed throughout history, and they have always been a small percentage of the population, just like
hold on.
we are doing so right now, Brian.
Well, there's a couple other things here. So if you recall, my argument wasn't exclusively related to sex workers. It was also with like population-wide promiscuity. Do you think women are more promiscuous now in 2026 than they were in the 1940s?
I don't know.
How
We
would
don't
you-
have, because we don't have
birth control
studies
came out
on
How
that.
wait,
We
hold
don't
on.
have studies or statistics
Hang
on
on.
that, and I don't like to.
You like logic, right? Okay, so
do.
if it's the case that people were having lots and lots as much unprotected sex then as they are now, right? And it's the case that abortion is universally outlawed, which it was, then how come we saw the rate of single motherhood so much less than we do now?
Wait, and
Hang on. If they weren't as
Unprotected
promiscuous.
sex.
Well, because unfortunately, and this is another reason why I'm here, the government has incentivized by many ways to divide the nuclear family. And so
Yeah,
there's
but that's not
many-
the question. The question is asking
You asked
about
me why
promiscuity.
it is that.
Promiscuity. If it's the case that women were just as promiscuous then as now, but did not have birth control, and we still saw way less single motherhood, wouldn't that stand to reason logically that they were way less promiscuous then than now?
No, I think that.
wait,
So
I think that there's no way
we,
to.
hold on.
No.
We actually do have statistics
We do.
on this.
Yeah, so let's pull them up.
Hold on. So we've tracked, for example, like they'll ask questions like, what is the number of premarital sexual partners you've had, for example? Do you think that number has declined
Or
or
gone up?
increased since the 1950s?
Probably increase. I don't know how
So
much.
women
so.
are more promiscuous today than they were 60,
men-
70, 80.
are men equally
How
more
would that
promis-
matter? Great red herring. How would it matter?
Because you say that now.
Yes, men are more promiscuous
Yes,
today.
we agree.
Correct. So now
How
you're
would it
saying
matter?
that
My point still
at
stands.
this point in history, all women should be treated.
I didn't say, holy shit,
Yes.
straw man, you are the queen of straw mans.
No,
When
you
did I
said
say
that-
all women?
Yes, you said-
I didn't say all women should be precluded from traditional treatment. That's not what I said. Tell me what I said.
That's
you
why I
said
made her
that
steal
at
me
no
on my
point in
arguments.
history.
No.
Let me repeat it
No,
to
no,
you
no.
then, right?
Tell me what I said.
Yes.
Because I think you have selective hearing, like you don't want to actually be good faith. You want to straw man my position. I did not say
I
that,
can
but go ahead.
repeat to you
Yeah, what did I
exactly
say?
what you said, and what I heard was that we are in a point in history where you believe that women deserve the least amount of chivalry. Yes or no? Right? That's what you said, and we could play this back. It's live.
I don't know if that's precisely what I said, but that's essentially, that is the essence of it, yes.
Okay, and I don't agree with that because I think that most women are virtuous. I don't think.
Most? What do you
think-
mean by most?
I think
Give me a
most.
percentage.
I think most women aren't represented in this particular demographic, and that they have more traditional values, and that they decide to have less sexual partners. I think that there's a small percentage of women that do have a lot more sexual partners. And so if we average it out, then yes, on average now, women have more sexual partners, but I don't think that we have...
The average woman has more sexual partners than the average woman did 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
And you consider-
And it's even worse for men.
Sure, I'm actually...
It is worse for men. In fact, most men that are even married watch pornography, and so it really disincentivizes...
I think that's wrong. I don't see how that's
And
wrong.
most
Okay,
women
and it's
read
true.
Harlequin romance novels.
And it's
They're
really
big consumers of
most
porn
women
too.
don't
Just
read
don't admit
those
it.
novels. That is...
Oh yes,
That is-
it's the most widely consumed female
Maybe the
porn.
women
It's
you surround
insane.
yourself
Men do
with,
porn
but
too,
none of the
though.
Oh,
women
it's
I
it's
know.
me. It's
Are you
because
Christian?
anecdotes.
Are you Christian?
Anecdotes.
Are you
I believe in
Christian?
God, but
Are
I'm
you
not.
Christian?
I am not
Do you go to church?
by a denomination.
So you think Andrew Wilson, who goes to an Orthodox church, you think he surrounds himself with more
women.
with women of lower virtue than the women you surround
You
yourself
think
with?
going to church makes you more surrounded by virtuous women?
Generally, yes.
Generally, yes.
And if you go
Yes.
towards a
a
church
great-
that has more traditional values,
That's a great
yes.
supposition to have. And if
Well, do you
have it,
think
that's
women
great.
in church
Well,
are
what
more
do you?
virtuous,
Well,
or do you
let's.
think
Well, hang
women-
on. Let's start with this. Let's untangle a couple of concepts. What do you consider female virtues?
I think that women that are intelligent,
No, just name some of the virtues.
self-sufficient, that they are loyal, that they are compassionate, that they are generous, that they are caretaking, right, or nurturing,
Okay,
that
nurturing.
they are intelligent, that they
a lot of those are traits.
yes,
What would
that
you
they
consider a
are
virtue, though?
high achieving, that
High achieving's a virtue.
Yeah, so loyal, another one.
Okay, I can grant perhaps loyalty as
Yeah.
not being a trait like intelligence. Maybe that's
Loyalty
that's
is a
more
virtue,
behavior.
right?
What about chastity?
Chastity, sexual discipline is what I like to call it.
Well,
Sexual
chastity.
yes.
Chastity is a traditional female virtue, right?
Yeah, well, chastity means very little to no sex, right? Like, but sexual discipline.
That's right. Very little to no sex until
Correct.
when?
Correct. And so that
Until
is-
when, though?
That is not realistic in today's
I
society.
understand, but is it is it a traditional female virtue? Chastity.
For you, it is. Sexual discipline is the word for me because
Okay.
I think women can. have-
Okay, got it. So
I think-
cope. Yeah, exactly.
Can I finish my?
Is it a
thought?
traditional
Do you think
female
do you
virtue?
think a person or an adult, let's say
You
in
didn't
their-
answer my question. Is
in
it a
their
traditional
30s?
female virtue?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Just like sexual discipline is.
Well, chastity was. Sexual discipline implies that you're not going to be chaste. You're just going to have less sexual partners
Yes.
than somebody who has many more than you do.
Yes,
Chastity does not mean
Okay.
does not mean the same
Can I
thing.
set an example?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say a woman gets married a virgin and for whatever reason gets divorced. The
Sure.
husband was abusive and whatnot.
Of course.
So they separate, and do you believe that as a result of her having lost her chastity, she can
didn't
be
lose-
sexually
yeah.
disciplined in the future going
In this
forward?
case, she's still following the virtue of chastity. So the idea here, when you're equating chastity with virginity, that is, they're not the same word for
so
a
for you,
reason.
they're not. Okay.
The virtue
Gotcha.
of chastity is
Gotcha.
that you're trying to only retain any type of sexual activity for husband. That's the
Okay.
idea. So I
Okay.
wouldn't say like husband dies, woman is no longer fucking following the virtue of chastity. She still would be. The question here, though, comes down to the idea of what is a virtuous woman. And if
Yeah.
you say a virtuous woman is one who's chaste, it's 1,000% the case that in modern year compared to 1930, they do not have that virtue of chastity, most women.
Most women.
Most
you
women.
think that's the case right now?
Well,
I
you wanna
would
pull the
disagree.
stats?
Wait, what percentage of women get married as virgins?
Not very many
So-
nowadays.
So how can
So
you
by
how can
logic-
you hold these two?
Yeah, by logical
Not very-
inferment, it's not
very
possible.
many nowadays.
So then by
Well, is there
logical
Also,
inferment.
don't get married
What's
at the
the
same
obsession
age,
with virginity
right?
and a
Hold on,
woman's
hold on,
virginity?
that's a
Talk
separate
about
context, separate
statistics.
con-
Let's
Yeah,
talk
we can
about
talk about
statistics
it.
and the fact.
Virginity.
At what age back in the day did
question.
women used to get married?
On average, it was much younger, around 1920.
Right. So would you say then that that has something to do with the fact that women that are now getting married at an older age because they are waiting for the right person, or they're waiting to be financially stable?
They're just
or
waiting to get
or
through
they're-
college.
Or they're waiting to finish their career?
It's just college.
Okay, whichever reason of those that is, do you think that that also has to do with why they aren't
Well,
as
hang on.
chaste?
Why would it be a necessary entailment that because women wait until they're older to get married that they need to fuck?
So would you?
Don't ask me a question, answer the question, then ask the question. Why would it be a necessary entailment that because a woman waits until she's older to get married,
So you're saying-
that she needs to fuck?
So
why would it be a logical entailment that because a woman
you
waits,
repeated it. I got it the first time.
Okay, then
I got it the
answer
first time.
first.
Okay, so
Why would that be a logical entailment?
that was the fourth time.
Go
you
ahead.
asked it. Because human nature and human biology, which
So they have to?
which I do not negate. I am a realist, right? I'm a realist. I operate in reality.
So they don't have to?
If you would have not gotten married or would have found the person,
Oh, sure. I would have been the
within-
worst degenerate on planet
within
Earth,
the-
but
okay,
what's the point?
correct.
Who cares? That has nothing to do with the point.
I think it has everything.
It wouldn't
to do
matter
with my
if I was going to go out every single night to blow off of a hooker's fucking ass and then fucking go get into a gangbang the next morning.
Hell yeah.
It has zero at all to do with my point. Why is it a necessary entailment that women gotta fuck before they get married because they get married older? Tell me
don't
why
have
it
to.
exactly.
They
So if
don't
that's the
have
case,
to.
all you're saying is that
But they can
women are
choose
less chaste than they used to be, and then you're giving an excuse that they are because they're waiting about 9 more years on average to get married, so they just gotta fuck. And then, no, that's
You
not
really
the case.
seem upset at the
Can we
fact
say
that
people
women
and not
have
women,
to.
though?
That women
Why are
have
we just talking about
to
women?
engage
They
in
have
relations.
to. They have to.
right?
They have to fuck before they're married. They
Why
have
are
to do
you
that.
so upset that women can engage in sexual relations?
I'm sorry. I
before
thought that you said that
marriage?
that's immoral.
No, I never said that.
Okay, so it's not immoral to engage in sex before marriage?
I think that it's good to wait before marriage.
Why is that good?
But it's not necessarily
Why is it good?
reality.
Why is
right?
it good?
Well, ask people that do wait until marriage and how long it is that they stay married. But again, that's a very small percentage of the population.
So then people they ought wait until they're married. On average.
I have conflicting views personally on that.
And you're
Yeah.
not a femcon?
I am not a femcon.
You're not a femcon.
think
You're
it's based
ultra.
on the husband.
You're
Traditional
ultra.
man.
You're ultra right wing
And you're not a
conservative.
traditional
I'm not a
man.
traditionalist. Never said I was.
Nor a gentleman.
But you're definitely a
by
femcon.
definition.
Definitely a femcon. So
Right.
you can't tell me right now that it's not good for women to not engage in sex before marriage.
So I'm sorry to bring this up because I know it is a sensitive.
Yes, I had tons of
subject.
sex before marriage. What's the? But my answer.
No,
can you
that's
answer my
not what I was
question?
going to talk about.
Are you going to talk about my wife now?
Would you consider her a chaste
Yeah,
person?
Okay, so
She's
anyway,
a beautiful woman.
what would that
Did you
have to
take her virginity,
do?
or-
What would that have to do with anything I'm saying?
That I believe she can be a virtuous
if I ran,
woman.
I didn't
I'm
say they can't
defending
be.
her.
I didn't say they can't be
I'm
virtuous.
defending her. I'm saying she has virtue.
Nobody
despite the
said
fact
they
that
can't
she
be.
has been married
Nobody
before.
ever claimed that they couldn't. No, this was not the claim. I'm
were
asking you a question. Is it good for women to not have sex before marriage?
I think that it
Or
depends
not.
on the individual.
So then you would prescribe for some women that they fuck before they get married then?
I think it depends on the individual.
So then some individuals.
And I don't like to
So
call
then
it that.
some individuals you would prescribe that they have sex before marriage.
I think that people usually are.
Prescribe.
Hold on, let's operate in reality.
I am.
I think that most people are in a relationship for a year to 2 years before tying the knot. And
So?
it is unrealistic in today's standards to go without having any kind of relations before doing that.
Is that good though?
You ask me, right?
I am asking you.
I
Is
think
that good?
I think that sexual compatibility is important.
So they need to fuck.
Why are you so
happens.
upset?
Because I'm
Why are you so
asking. Can you
upset
just
about-
answer the question?
Why are you so
Realistic.
upset
Do
about?
they need to fuck or not?
No, they don't need to.
Let her
Nobody
answer.
needs to do
let her
anything.
answer.
He wants
Yeah.
a yes or no.
I do. Would you prescribe that women fuck before they get married?
I prescribe that they should verify that they have sexual chemistry, and whether that leads them to find that out
She's not their prescriber.
in one way or another, I don't know what
What
it
would
is.
you consider the best way for them to find that out?
It depends on the couple.
Yeah,
right?
like
I'm
on
not in
average.
people's-
Just
I'm
on
not in
average.
I'm not in people's bedrooms.
Yeah, just like on average. How would you say that that's probably the most likely way for them to like discover
How would you?
that they're
How
compatible?
did you find out that you had sexual compatibility?
Yeah, I
with
was
your
out
wife?
fucking.
No, with your wife.
What's your
before you
what's
got
yeah?
married.
What is that?
How
what,
did you determine that?
There literally anything that you ask me from an anecdotal perspective, regardless of how I answer it, has no bearing on the argument.
does.
How?
You're telling, so
How?
would it have
How?
been bad?
No one's
Or is
got
it
here,
bad, or is your
If
wife?
I literally grabbed some woman next to me right now, threw her up on the table, and just started fucking railing her in front of all of you, how the fuck would that have
Not in
anything
front of me,
to
we
do
would've
with my
left.
question? How would it have a fucking thing to do with my question? How?
Because you're trying to say that being chaste is the ultimate value.
No,
right?
I'm asking
And
you. I'm
did
asking
you. Have
you.
relations
Who
with your
cares if I
wife?
did?
You had relations
Oh
with
my
your
God,
life before
why?
getting married.
Tell me how that would
because
matter.
You're a human.
What
and
does-
women are human as well.
That has no bearing on the argument.
Yes, it
Would you prescribe that women fuck before they get married?
She
the
does not get
guy
a say in that.
Why
that
do
they're
you
going to be
care
with.
what
Where
she
it's her,
thinks?
she has her own body. They have their
I
body.
don't. I understand
Look,
they have
I
their own. Would you
personally-
say it's good?
I
I
would say that
personally-
it varies. It differs based
Generally.
on someone. Like generally, like I would say
Since she won't answer.
Well, I personally wanted
would
to wait
say
until marriage. Definitely.
it's their
you know?
choice.
But
I'm
I
not-
got married in
It's
my
not a
mid-20s.
yes or no question.
I'm not
realistically.
asking. Listen, you can make a
Mm-hmm.
caveat and say sure. For like most people, it's good. But I would prescribe for at least some people that they should have sex before they marry the person they're going to
You
marry.
shouldn't tell
Would your
people
hang on,
what to
hang
do with
on,
their
hang on.
bodies.
It's nice of you to
Would you
say.
calm down so I can at least finish the sentence?
Go
Seem
for
very
it.
cool guy.
Here's the thing, right? It's like what I'm asking specifically is if you would at least recommend to some people it would be good for you to have sex before you marry this
I don't
this
recommend
person.
any kind of
What do you
sexual acts
prescribe?
between other couples ever. Period. That's my answer. Why can't you accept
Yes or
it?
no?
So then the idea here is when you're talking about ideas like chastity and you're talking about ideas like virtues, those virtues are prescriptions of ought. People ought do thing. So when I'm asking you about your oughts and you say I would never make an ought, I don't even understand now what is virtuous.
I believe that women ought to be sexually disciplined for their own sake, as in to maintain
Let me
healthy.
define it really quick.
Yeah.
So
To
when you say,
maintain healthy,
can I ask
to
you a
not
question?
have
Let me ask you a
multiple
question on
sexual
sexual
partners.
discipline.
Go ahead.
So would you categorize the following? Hey, you got to put it on frame. Put it on frame, Nathan.
I'll be back. I'm gonna have another.
Yeah, yeah. Would you categorize the following as a woman who has sexual discipline? Prior to marriage, let's say she gets, a lot of women get married in their late 20s. Let's say a woman had one monogamous boyfriend per year up until the age of marriage, starting at, say, at 17. So let's say she's had sex with 14 men, but they were all within the confines of a long-term relationship, monogamous relationship, each lasting 1 year. Would that be sexual discipline?
To me, I think that that is poor initial vetting of the people that they're with.
But I mean, I don't understand, but that would be sexual discipline, would it not?
I think that the poor sexual discipline stems from the main problem, which is poor assessing of people's character and who it is that they pick to be in a relationship with. I think that's the problem.
And I agree with that. But to come back to the original point that you made with Ivy, is that if a woman who just got gangbanged by 10 guys, who has semen all up in her, no condom, whatever, goes on a date with a man, right? And then she said, oh, but that's his choice to go on the date with her. Do you go on that date, and when he asks you, how was your day? What did you do today? Are you going to tell him, well, I banged 10 guys today, and that's what I do, and that's what I do for my living? Is that your conversation starter?
Well,
do you think that man wanted to go on the date with you because you'd banged 10 men? That is my question.
And I do want to bring it back to, I guess, the original point here. So what specifically, I want to direct it at you, but I feel like maybe you guys want to weigh in too.
Yes.
So my position is simply this. Why should men be chivalrous for women who are, look, I think widely people would perceive this, but I'll just say from my own perspective, non-deserving.
Can I answer?
Let me
I
let
think
you
it-
go.
I
Let me
think
let
it
you go.
depends-
Stop.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I think if a guy knows what he's signing up for the girl that isn't like a sex worker or whatnot in the industry, I think that it's kind of his choice to be I can't say the word. Chivalrous, because I think he knows what he's signing up for, and
But
maybe
why the expectation then from women
it's not. It
who are
shouldn't be an
sex workers?
expectation.
But women. But their position, her position, is that despite me not holding up any of my own tradition, like any sort of traditional thing, I still want the man to uphold his because it benefits me.
I don't
Why
think it's
should
right for the expectation to be there, but I think
It
if the
exists.
guy is knowing what he's signing up for with the girl that he's choosing to take on a date, that he's kind of signing up to hold that, to be I can't say the word,
Okay,
but
go ahead.
yeah.
I'd like to add that I think that women in general, just by virtue of being a feminine woman, should receive chivalry from men, regardless of her
just
job.
because she has a vagina.
Not just because she has a vagina, but like the
So-
way that we
How would you
carry
categorize
ourselves,
feminine?
our natural attributes, what we bring to
You-
the table,
which is what?
in a relationship with a man.
So a woman.
right? He brings strength.
Do
right?
all
He
women?
brings,
But do all women reach that threshold?
I would say.
What would disqualify a woman?
I think what would disqualify a woman from not receiving chivalry is disrespect, right? Is she disrespecting him or herself, society, right? Is she, how do I say this?
So is it disrespectful to show up on a first date with another man's seed?
I would say yes.
Okay,
If
and
he
you're
finds out if
polyamorous.
you like
You're
that
polyamorous,
guy.
correct?
Yeah, might like
so
it.
you would.
Yeah.
That's
But I
disgusting.
also wouldn't
but,
schedule
To
a
you.
date back to back with.
to 90. Wait. Stop.
Genuinely, like to you.
Hold on.
yeah.
So, to 99% of men, the thought of, I understand that there are some cucks out there. For 99% of men, the thought of the girl he's going on a date with, or the girl he's going to be in a relationship with, or the girl he's going to be intimate with, the thought that she's being sexually active with another man, yeah, that is disrespectful and disgusting to that man.
I think it's important to be like transparent about your sex life to provide people that choice. That way you're not violating their bodies. So like I think it is important to say, yeah, I like, as much as they don't want to hear it, you open up that opportunity for them to say, yes, I want to move forward with this. No, I don't.
Would you, if a guy wanted to go 50-50 on the date, would you be okay with that?
I have been in the past, but I just feel like, I have different standards now. And as much as people think that I have lower standards just because of what I do, I don't. Like, it doesn't matter what they say, because I know that I don't. So,
I think
no,
that a lot
I'm
of sex workers actually
not
have
okay with
higher
that.
standards for dating because
Well-
of the treatment that we get from society or social media.
Yeah, but you don't deserve it, is what I'm trying to get at here.
But what- why
Look,
don't we
regardless,
deserve
I think
it?
I didn't answer this question. Somebody originally posed it. It might have been you. So, women who are sex workers, women who are not ladies, women who are promiscuous, women who are not feminine, whatever it is, everybody's deserving of respect. I'm not saying that sex workers or promiscuous women or women who are poly or whatever it is, I'm not saying that you should walk up to her and smack her in the face and call her a bitch. I'm not saying that at all. You should always treat people with respect, regardless of their job, profession, whatever career. However, what we're talking about is something very specific, and that's dating dynamics. There is an expectation on men to be chivalrous, et cetera, be all trad. And it's interesting to me that I guess here's my question. Maybe I'll rephrase it like this.
Yeah, I would just reduce it to this. Why does any woman deserve chivalry?
I asked that.
That's
I
why
think
we're
it's-
why we're single. That kind of comment is the point of the loneliness.
Answer the question.
Epidemic.
It's important not to
If she is,
judge.
that's fine for her.
It's actually no. It's actually you.
Me.
It's you because
Really?
even as the conservative woman here, you're not actually willing to step up and be like, you know what, men need to be better, but you're actually
Men need to be better and women need to be better.
Hold on,
Sure.
But my position is certain women don't deserve chivalry. So if we
I never
hold
argued
on.
against that.
You literally,
in fact,
you just said the reason that there's a male loneliness epidemic is because men don't want to pay for
No,
dates with little whores.
No.
That's literally your fucking position.
No,
Okay, should I? Hold on. Wait. Answer. Let me ask you a question. Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
That's why all women don't deserve
I
chivalry.
didn't say
No,
why.
he-
You
I
did
didn't
say that,
no.
and let's
No,
rewind.
that's not what he said.
I'll bet you
He-
$500 I didn't say that's why women don't deserve
That's
chivalry.
why all women don't
no, he
deserve
asked
what-
$500.
Put it back. Is that what you said?
$500.
I have $500.
Put it. Grab that clip. Send it to Brian.
He's not. Oh, not my producer.
That's why
can somebody
women-
watching just send it to my Instagram?
$500
That's
for
why-
me.
that's
I
why
asked
women
a
don't
question. I said,
deserve-
why does
what he said.
any woman deserve chivalry?
Why- that's exactly what I.
Nope,
yes.
that's a completely
Yes,
different
why?
statement than
No, but-
no
Why-
women
so why does-
deserve
You make a
chivalry.
good
So why
point.
Why?
does every woman deserve chivalry? That's
No,
what you
why
said.
do women deserve chivalry?
Why do
Was-
women deserve chivalry is a different statement than that's why women do not deserve chivalry.
I'm hearing you. They don't.
Hold on.
Okay, so if that's the way that you meant it as a question.
No, it's not what I
No,
meant.
You did
It's
shake, by the way.
It's how it's
we
my
can
question.
We can say that I've answered questions in the positive, as in, okay, so why do all women deserve chivalry? And
Why do men
it's
deserve
because
virgin?
Why does any woman deserve chivalry? Was my
Correct. That
question.
is what you said. That is
Yes.
what you said.
Didn't
Why
make the
do
And
men
so
deserve virgins?
I said right
Didn't make the
after. I
claim.
said right after that. That is the kind of comment that is driving us apart as the sexes. That
Wow,
kind
that's
of
real,
assumption.
great contribution there. So,
Can you
do want-
ban the trolls, the Thorpes, out of the fucking chat for me? That'd be
Yeah,
great.
wait, don't hide that. Let me, hold on.
Andrew doesn't even think his wife deserves chivalry. I'm reading it. That's why he made her take a paternity test.
Stop.
Yeah,
Okay,
Stop.
I'm just reading the screen, but
Yeah, I have
those are below the
dogmatic
threshold.
trolls.
Gotcha.
We don't
Gotcha.
need you to be the host.
gotcha.
Anyway.
So again, you're being really bad faith. You're strawmanning. You've been strawmanning positions all night. Andrew literally didn't say that. He was asking, why do women deserve chivalry? It seems like you're taking the affirmative position that even women who got gang banged the morning
No.
of the date should
No.
have their date paid for.
No.
Well, that's our position. So
That's
why are
my
you
position
arguing
as well.
against it?
No, and
Why
I'm
are you?
not.
But so we're asking why. Okay, I guess I'll ask the question like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay for people in society to say men should. Women can say it, men can say it, society can say it, men should. Men should pay for first dates, men should provide, men should protect, men should observe the sidewalk rule. So if there's a car barreling down the road, he gets fucking smashed on the pavement and the woman gets to survive, even if it's a first date. Men should open car doors, men should buy flowers, men should do all these things. What are we allowed to say women should do?
I think we say that.
We're allowed to say men should. What can we actually say women should do?
Women should provide affection, a listening ear.
Goes both ways. Goes
right?
both ways.
Nurturing,
But
loyalty.
I'm asking uniquely. So
As
okay,
the
hold
leader,
on.
though,
Something that men cannot do.
because they're leading.
No, but okay, when we're talking about chivalry, men to women, chivalry does not flow women to men. So I'm asking.
I disagree
what,
with that. Because I've bought
Do you pay for-
I've
huh?
bought flowers for
your
my man
boyfriend for
before.
Okay.
Okay, he
Have you-
has.
I do
how many,
want-
how many
gotten
first
it.
dates have you been on?
First dates, not many, and you know why? Because I pre-vet people before I even go on a first
Okay.
date.
How many?
So
just
there
tell me how
aren't many first dates. It's usually first date and then relationship because
how
we've
many-
been talking
well,
for a very
you're-
long time before that. Because I
You're,
want to not waste
how
that
old are you?
person's
You're 32?
time and money.
How old are you? You're 32?
32.
32. Okay. So how many first dates have you been on?
Probably 7 in my entire
Okay.
life.
Did you split? Did you pay for it or did the guy pay for it?
They paid for it because we agreed on that beforehand.
You have that conversation? It's
Yes.
not just assumed?
Yes, correct.
You don't just assume
No.
that you're dating like a conservative guy? So
No.
Okay, so you,
I
wait,
date
when you say you have the
conservative
conversation, wait, didn't you go on dates when you were 18? So when you were 18, you're like, hey, by the way, buddy, you're going to pay for the date?
No, we had the conversation, and they
You
told
were
me.
vetting at 18?
Yes, believe it or not.
Okay, I mean, that's
Believe
possible.
it or not.
but-
In fact,
are smart.
those
Okay.
are one of the things that you talk about. And if I have,
So-
if I have a verbal conversation on the phone, and they say, "I can't wait to treat you out to dinner," that is a verbal confirmation that the person wants to treat me to
Right.
dinner.
So
So
of
I
all-
know, we both know, both consenting parties know how it is going to go.
So of all
And
the
if he doesn't believe in that, then we don't go on the date, and I don't waste his time or
Right,
money.
but so of all
Isn't
the
that
first
fair?
first dates you've been on, which you say is 7, in each instance the guy paid, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you responded when I was saying chivalry flows men to women. If in your own experience, men always paid for you on the first date, and my argument here is, well, chivalry, an example of chivalry, excuse me, would be men paying for first dates, but you've never paid for a first date or even gone 50-50.
I do other nice things.
Okay, once you're in the...
I randomly give
Okay, great.
gifts.
You've been dating a guy for 2 years and you bought him a birthday present. That's not what we're talking about.
Neither am I. I
we
buy
buy birthday
flowers for no
presents.
reason.
But-
I bought
Okay.
more gifts for my boyfriend than he bought
But
me.
Yeah.
you chose to contend with my point that I was making, which is chivalry flows from men to women. You're like, well, that's not true.
No,
So
kindness.
how do
kindness,
women flow
But that's a
uniquely?
shared virtue.
chivalry in
Kindness is-
response?
should men be kind to
what would be
women?
what for you? What would be the equivalent word that defines chivalry as in
There isn't one.
kindness from women
That's
to
not,
men?
well, first there's an
It's
equi-
So it doesn't.
asymmetrical.
There's a-
It's
it's
asymmetrical.
I think it can be
well,
symmetrical.
this is
actually.
this is
I
It's
also
not for
think
you.
it would be
It's not
symmetrical.
for me.
Well, it's
because I've been
equivocation.
chivalrous towards men,
Yeah.
and I've been chivalrous towards women. I've taken women out on dates where I pay for everything.
Okay.
I open the door. I take on that
This is
masculine
not.
role.
Yeah, I
you're in a
understand, but
different
this is not
circumstance.
individualized. So hang on. Let me explain and express. The Titanic's going down. Who gets the lifeboats first?
Women and children.
Nope. Fuck that shit.
The women and children.
Who makes that decision?
Well, these
Men,
are
right?
no. This is a general expectation which came from the various ideals of not just chivalry, that wasn't just one, but also the essentially the idea that women were a valued commodity, right? But all of those became a shared ethos, which led to chivalry. Now that continues today. The Titanic goes down today. The women and children still get the lifeboats. So the question becomes, what is the equivalent of that in general society that men have the expectation to get from women? What is that?
I think there is loyalty. I think that
That's
there's
shared.
Both ways.
I think that there is the value added of being by their side, because men
shared.
no.
We're
Let me
looking for
let me
something
finish.
unique.
Let me
Well,
finish.
there's also the creation of
No,
life.
you need to let me finish.
We
the thought
create
on
life.
this.
Finish.
Support.
Men have women to impress other men very often, and so if you have a
Also
woman
shared.
that is next to you, that is intelligent, that can have a conversation and a debate, then it raises your value as a man.
Women raise your value.
In comparison to having somebody
true, women
that
do
can't
raise your
do
value.
something
That's why
like
men
that.
pay for
Hang on,
escorts.
but there's not
So-
even a dispute here. The thing is like all of these things though are shared. There's also women who get men and want them as arm candy so that they can show them off. There's all
again,
that there's
there's
also women who
that
want
have
men
men.
who look
Okay,
like
but what
studs.
is
There's
the
also male. Hang on,
what is the proportional
it wouldn't
comparison
hang on,
to
hang on.
that?
It wouldn't matter. The idea here is it's not a shared, generalized value like it is for men. The women and children get the lifeboats, where everything is you're
But men set
talking.
that
Hang on,
system up.
everything
Oh my God,
that
such a feminist.
even
No, it is not.
it is. But even if
The
it
same way
wasn't,
that men send other men
I'm
to
going to
the
I'm
same
going
way-
I'm going to
feminist.
grant it.
Feminist discussion.
I'm actually going to grant all of this. That yes, men invented it. They just like they
And men
they
send other
grabbed
men
it.
to war, and
Okay,
I
you're right.
disagree with
We
that.
just grabbed a chisel and we were like, men give lifeboats. Got it. We put it in
made
fucking
that
enshrined
decision.
in stone. They made the decision.
I'm
Can you
glad they did,
give
though.
me anything that's the equivalent of that from the female side? That's what I'm asking.
Well, women are the ones that are responsible for destroying their bodies and bringing life.
Do you have any
into-
kids?
I don't have any kids, but
How many men paid for first dates that you didn't give children to?
oh my gosh, 7 meals, and you think I should give a man a child for paying for my meal,
No,
Brian?
that's not what I'm saying.
That's
but
so
no,
weird.
no, hold on. Let me explain the argument. Let me explain the argument.
But men are also expected to
That's really
toil,
weird.
so it's not even an argument.
Let me explain. So if the idea here is men should be chivalrous, and chivalrous is expected up front immediately, ergo on the first date, men should do that because at some vague, nebulous point down the road, I might give birth to this man's child. However, that argument doesn't really make sense absent in all instances in which you've gone on the first date with somebody. If you didn't bear them children, then that argument doesn't hold any
The
weight.
wouldn't anyway,
The reason I
because-
went on
chance of
first
having her bear
dates
their
wasn't
children.
to.
Go ahead,
Andrew. It
the
actually
reason I
does-
went on first dates isn't because of the fact that they
I
to see if they're
understand.
chivalrous. It's to see if we have chemistry after the fact that we've talked about whether
The-
our values are the same,
Yeah.
whether our futures are going to align, a bunch of other
The
things.
reason that this argument doesn't
Right?
hold weight is because it's an equal curse anyway. Going back to the idea of Adam and Eve, Eve had to give childbirth, but men had to toil. Both of those take the toll on the body. So yes, it's true. Women have to deal with the bodily toil
You're
of.
making a religious
they
argument,
Have, no,
and
no,
I
no.
never like to.
I'm making a present day argument. The top dangerous jobs on planet Earth are held by which sex?
Men. I
Okay,
agree with
so
that.
they toil. That hurts their
1,000%.
body. You have the children. That hurts the body. That's an equivalent exchange. I want to hear what we get that's fucking unique.
Women are doing those jobs
What
now
do
too.
men get that's
I don't think
unique?
your own mother would be happy to hear that question come out of your mouth, to say what it is that women give to you that is unique.
Do you have an
other
answer?
than life?
Wait, what?
Other
This
than
is-
life?
Wait, stop.
Yeah, wait. You
what
need
is his-
men. You need
You
men's
asked-
genetic
I
material
asked-
for life.
I asked you.
That's
Actually, you don't.
Yes, you do.
You don't. we can reproduce women with just
my God.
our
Why would
bone
Andrews-
marrow
No.
with certain technology. Yes.
No.
No, you
But-
can't.
No, you can't.
Yes, we can.
You always need male genetic material no matter what. You can't do it alone.
I
saw
guess
this-
like they
We don't
contributed
need
with
you,
the
though,
technology.
just a sperm.
You don't need, yeah.
I'm
but
curious what
men's
the other
genetic-
Our
We don't
bodies
need you,
have to
though,
say.
just the
Yeah,
womb.
you do.
I don't-
Just
exactly,
the womb.
that's us.
Yeah, the sperm's just us.
Look, I don't like the
No, it's
argument
not.
that
Yeah.
men
You can
don't
put it.
need
You can
women.
put that in a fucking jar.
Not
Does that
arguing.
lead to
Nobody's
good
And we
children
can
to not
perhaps
have a
one day make an
man?
artificial womb.
One day.
Like,
I don't
it's,
I hope you can afford it.
but that's my point. Is
I
like
don't like the argument that
all we're
men don't
looking
need
for-
women and women don't need men. We need
Yeah.
each
We
need each
other.
Yeah, but-
Absolutely.
but nobody's
we need to
even
value
nobody's
each
even
other.
disputing
and you
this.
See no value in
Just
motherhood.
asking about.
So why would a woman
Yeah,
want to
I-
have kids with you?
I don't know. They did, but here's
I
the
know,
thing. Here's the thing,
I'm
though,
sorry about
right?
that.
Is like,
You know,
You're what? Wait, what?
I wish her the best.
yeah. Well,
wish
I mean, you
her
don't
the
need
best.
to. She's
Oh my
never,
God, bro.
she's never been happier. But the thing
I
is
hope so.
like,
Wait, Andrew, hold on. Andrew's been like polite to you. I don't know why you're being like passive aggressive and insulting Andrew.
I don't even care. I just want to get the answer to the question.
Go for it.
What can you name a thing which is equivalent that generally men would receive? That's the equivalent of the women, children, lifeboats. Anything, just one thing that's not a shared proxy
Are you
between the two.
genuinely asking that
Yes,
question?
yes.
Okay, so women are the primary people that are in healthcare, right? So if you go to the doctor, you're probably going to be seen by a nurse first. I heard
Are
this.
you listening to his question?
Yes, I am.
So if I'm going on a date with a woman,
I'm
what I
talking
get
about.
is that there are vaguely women in healthcare.
Yeah.
No.
What?
We're talking
No, if I'm
about
going-
why
For
do
chivalry.
women.
If I'm going on first date with a barista, what I get from the barista is that there's
No.
vaguely women in healthcare.
No, but you
How
made a
does that
vague
fucking
question.
benefit me? What the fuck?
Correct.
Hold
But
on,
he
wait. I'm
asked-
gonna let this poor girl here.
he
Her
asked a
hand's
vague
getting a
question,
cramp. Hold
not
on,
a
her hand's
one-on-one
getting
question.
a cramp.
Go ahead.
We gotta let this girl come in. Go ahead.
Well,
Scoot into the table a bit.
yeah, I
It's
definitely
like
do see
Tommy
the,
Lauren all over again.
That would be a compliment. Thank you.
the biggest problem too. I think that we're kind of running into is, like you have said, we're setting a lot of standards for men, but we aren't setting standards for women. And I think a lot of these things of chivalry and of, as well, for women, virtue, these should be personal standards we have just for ourselves. You know, we don't need
I
to
agree.
have the other sex in them.